We have long entertained the idea of using biology to combat environmental disasters, from genetically modified plants that can withstand extreme climates to microorganisms engineered to break down pollutants. But how close are we to using genetics in the fight against climate change and pollution? What are the latest advancements in this field, and most importantly, why should we invest in this research? Like many, when I first heard about climate change, I assumed that the solution was simply reducing carbon emissions. I thought, why not just stop using fossil fuels? Science has shown the challenge is far more complex. The effects of climate change, including rising temperatures, ocean acidifications, and extreme weather events, are already happening. And even if we stopped all emissions today, greenhouse gases already in the atmosphere would continue to warm the planet for decades. So what can the science of biology and genetics offer to help mitigate these issues? At the heart of every biological function is the molecule deoxyribonucleic acid, or DNA. It dictates how organisms grow, adapt, and survive. Scientists have begun using genetic tools to create biological solutions that could significantly reduce the impacts of climate change and pollution. First, let's look at carbon sequestration. Plants naturally absorb CO2 through photosynthesis, but genetic engineering is making it possible to enhance this process. Researchers are working on modifying plants to absorb more CO2 and store it for longer periods. A prime example is Salk Institute's Harnessing Plants initiative, which focuses on strengthening plant root systems to store carbon more effectively underground. Another fascinating area is synthetic biology, where scientists are designing microorganisms capable of breaking down pollutants. For instance, researchers have engineered bacteria to digest plastic waste, a major pollutant choking marine ecosystem. Some microbes are also being modified to consume oil spills, breaking down hydrocarbons into harmless compounds. This technology is already being tested in controlled environments, with hopes of large-scale applications soon. But perhaps the most groundbreaking research is in ocean bioengineering. Marine phytoplankton are responsible for absorbing nearly half of the Earth's CO2. Scientists are investigating ways to genetically enhance these microscopic organisms to make them more efficient at carbon sequestration, potentially reducing the overall carbon burden in the atmosphere. A question that naturally arises is, why rely on genetic advancements instead of traditional climate solutions? The answer lies in urgency. Renewable energy and emission reduction are crucial, but they take time to implement globally. Genetic provides an additional complementary solution that can work alongside these strategies. One promising example is the development of climate-resistant crops. Rising temperatures and extreme weather patterns threaten global food supplies. Scientists are engineering crops with enhanced drought and heat resistance, ensuring food security in the face of climate instability. A notable project led by the International Rice Research Institute involves modifying rice to withstand flooding, a problem that devastates millions of farmers annually. Another breakthrough comes from methane reduction in agriculture. Livestock, particularly cows, are major contributors to methane emissions, a greenhouse gas significantly more potent than CO2. Researchers are now developing genetically modified feed that reduces methane production in cows' digestive systems, potentially cutting agriculture emissions dramatically. Genetic tools are also revolutionizing environmental conservation efforts. Scientists are exploring ways to revive coral reefs, which are dying due to ocean warming and acidification. Through genetic modification and selective breeding, researchers aim to develop supercorals that are more resistant to these environmental stresses. To put it simply, genetics is providing us with tools to combat climate change at multiple levels, from improving carbon capture to reducing pollution and preserving ecosystems. But as with any major scientific endeavor, the question remains, why invest in these solutions when traditional methods exist? Our planet is undergoing its most rapid environmental changes in history. According to estimate, we are losing species at an unprecedented rate, with entire ecosystems at risk of collapse. Addressing climate change requires a multifaceted approach, and genetic research offers innovative solutions that could make a significant difference. Furthermore, history has shown us that major scientific projects often lead to unexpected discoveries. Genetic advancements in climate change mitigation could lead to unforeseen innovations that benefit humanity in ways we cannot yet predict. To wrap things up, genetic research is offering new hope in the fight against climate change and pollution. While the technology to reverse environmental damage is still developing, these breakthroughs show immense promise. Perhaps one day we'll wake up in a world where carbon-negative crops, plastic-eating bacteria, and resilient coral reefs are commonplace. And if you want to stay updated on these fascinating developments, don't forget to follow the latest research. Let us know what you think about genetic solutions for climate change. Share your thoughts in the comments. And as always, keep exploring the wonders of science and take care.